Funding meant for traders. Mentfunding.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Ment Funding. DXTRADE is now used by a lot of platforms, and a lot of businesses are using it now. It's actually a very, very cool platform, and I'm excited to kind of walk you through it and show you how it works. Let's show you what you do as a brand new member that might have just found Ment Funding to actually utilizing this platform and what it looks like. So here we are on the Ment Funding page. Of course, we've been funding traders since 2021 when we first came out with 0 time limits and a one-step model, and haven't changed our model since, other than improving multiple things like the max daily loss, the max loss, which was trailing and is now no longer trailing, and actually doubling leverage without any upgrades or without needing to pay more now. So it's really cool. Nonetheless, you come down, you decide the account size you want, or you can check out some of the stuff here and press select plan. Upon pressing select plan, you simply go through the menu options, decide on the platform, which in this case is DXTRADE, which is what this video is about. Here, I'll do this. Just accept all the things and read through them if you want to. Of course, you should be reading through them, no shit. But I know how some of you operate. Create your order, and then boom, you'll have this basically come to your email. This is what it's going to look like. You'll get an email from Mentfunding. Welcome to your Mentfunding one-step evaluation. If you click on this, you will see this, the evaluation account details. This is specifically the ones to do with DXTRADE, and you'll see the actual dashboard. Now, if we open up the dashboard really quickly, we can copy and paste the name. Make sure when you copy paste this, make sure you don't leave any spaces, otherwise it won't work. Just make sure it's correct. And of course, if there are any issues whatsoever, please come down here in the bottom right, press chat with us, and you'll instantly be a part of our Discord team where you can reach out to support. Very helpful people. We have very helpful members too. And you can also stay up to date with a lot of updates. So like a lot of you know, this video is about DXTRADE. It'll soon be made available as well for app, for mobile, and I will be updating everybody when that actually happens. And we'll also be integrating a few other platforms in the future, potentially even TradingView. So we look forward to that, and make sure you join up. It's very easy. You can stay up to date with stuff, but that's the best way to do it. Nonetheless, without going any further, there's our dashboard. So we're gonna go ahead and log in really quickly. And when you log in, you can come back here and you can see this account number, 523780. So if you need to, you can click on this account tab right here, 523780, and you can track your overall progress on your evaluation right here, as well as when you actually become funded. So that's very cool. Now, back to this. DXTRADE on its own, you can't install it or anything just yet. The only way that you can access it through Mentfunding is this platform right here. You actually if you click it, you'll be brought to a page that looks like, well, not actually like this. Let me log out. You'll be brought to a page that looks like this, right? Upon being on this page, you will simply just copy paste your username and password. Make sure you don't leave any spaces or anything crazy like that. Otherwise, just type it out yourself or it won't work. And again, if you have any issues, please let us know, and press login. And again, why do you have to use this specifically? It's almost like its own server, like its own platform. Okay, you're in. Now, upon getting into DXTRADE, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? It looks very crazy. It's really not that crazy. It's actually very, very simple. And I'm going to show you how cool it is and what you can do for yourself with this. So first and foremost, what I would advise you do is just close everything. All this nonsense, just close it. Let's walk through everything from step 1 so you can go ahead and customize and build this out for your personal preference, and so you actually understand how to use everything. So just press this little X right here. If you press these X's and you press them, or go back to them, and you press them, and you press these X's, you just press them all. Finally, I'm not gonna sit here and just just say random shit based on what's there. Instead, I want to show you how to use the actual platform and how to customize it for yourself so you can actually see that it's a good platform, and also that you can actually properly use it. So now we have an empty thing right here. You can see up here it says workspace 1. If you press this plus button, you can see we can add as many workspaces as we want. Right now, I'm just going to delete them. We don't need them right now, so we're going to delete them. And you can, of course, rename them. Here we are, just deleting. Okay, my clicking sucks, but just deleting the workspaces. Now we have one workspace. Now, very simply, all you ever need in regards to customizing and setting stuff up is up here. Chart, positions, watch list, my account, and tools. This has everything you'll ever need. Now, the most important thing for many of you is actually to, 1, know what can you actually trade. If you press on this thing called the watch list right up here at the top, and you press that, you'll be able to see This is all the tradable assets under your given broker or your prop firm, or in this case, with Ment Funding. These are all the tradable assets. I'll make myself smaller for a second. There they are. And you guys can log in and see that as well. So there we go. We have accessibility to them. Now notice if I click on them, nothing happens at the moment. That's fine. I'm going to show you how everything works. Cool. So that is one thing you can do. That is one thing you can do. Now, if you press chart, because a lot of us need a chart, here we have it. We now have a chart and we have a watch list above it. And we can even customize and kind of move this around as we see fit. And you can see now, even at this point, if we start clicking between things, nothing happens. This is because the chart and the actual watch list are not linked. How do we link them? At the top, you see this little chain thing, okay? You press it and you select the color, any color you want. Just remember it, okay? It's select a card, any card, remember it. Select red. There's a chain thing here too. Notice how I click things, nothing happens. But if I select the chain and make it red as well, all of a sudden, the chart begins to update. And you can see, if I click on anything now, it will update to that chart. So here we are on EuroCAD. If I scroll down and click on NZDJPY, boom, you can see it'll load up. And very simply, we have NZDJPY right here. Now, let's say this is already still too much for you at the moment. You can add another workspace. Here we are, we have a workspace. And honestly, let's even get rid of this one. Done, right? We have nothing now. You can simply, let's say you're very used to having a chart, press on chart. There we go. Now, all of a sudden, you have the actual chart and you can just search the things that you want to trade. Let's say you want to trade gold, right? Very simply, XAU USD, there's gold, right? Presto. Let it load. There you are. There's gold. Simply, euro, US dollar, whatever it is you want. You can search the actual chart and it'll come up just like that. So just like that, the chart will come up. And as well as that, right, I'm not going to go over this specifically, but you can go into the settings and you can alter colors and grids and anything that you personally want to make your trading feel a lot more better and customizable up to your preference. And you can see there's a few other options here. You can add some studies, like some indicators and stuff. So very, very cool, very simple. And you can also select the time frame that you personally want. Okay, so now you know how to add a chart as well. Now let's make a new workspace. So a lot of you are very likely going to have a watch list, a chart, and positions. That's what you're used to. And those are the three things right here. Now, if you don't see them here, you'll likely find them under My Account or under Tools. These are all things that you can just add onto any tab. So here we are on a new tab, in this case, a workspace. That's what we're gonna call it. Also, before we go any further, if you fuck everything up and you screw it all up and you're terrified, click on this little thing up here and you can load layouts. So you can save layouts, right? You can load the default just by pressing load. And if you loaded it right now, it would go back to the default that you saw before, but we're not gonna do that right now. So most people for their trading use a watch list, they use a chart, and they use positions. This will then show you, of course, what positions you have open. And most people also like to have the chart being the main center thing. So what we can do is we can move the positions right here or below everything, right? So we'll just move it below everything, just like that. There they are. And a lot of people like the chart to be on its own or to the right of the watch list or whatever. So we can move it right here. And all of a sudden you can see it's very, very simple to actually move things around and make them look the way you want them to look. And you guys can figure this out, of course, because you guys are smart. You guys are watching the Ment Funding channel because you guys are very smart, right? So you now have a chart. You now have this, and again, remember, if I start clicking stuff, nothing happens. Link it in terms of the color that you want, and very simply, everything is now linked. So you can go ahead and trade anything you want. Now, let's say this was your basic setup. This is what the setup will look like for a lot of people. This is the basic that they're happy with, and there's nothing more you want to do. Okay. Let's talk about actually entering orders now and how that looks like. So again, how did we set this up? We simply click these three things here and we move things around until we were happy, right? If you wanted other things, you can of course go ahead and add them. You can even add multiple watch lists and multiple charts, but I'm going to show you guys that in a second. Let's talk about actually entering orders, how that looks, and how you can use a position size calculator to actually determine your sizes and why it's actually really cool to use it in this platform right here. So first things first is how do you actually enter an order? Here we are on AUD CAD. Boom, very, very simple. Let's go to a 1 hour chart just for the sake of explanation today. Now you have a number of ways that you can place a trade. These are the two that I've basically seen and I'm aware of, but you might find others. You have the buy and sell button up here, right? Very simple. You can buy or sell. So I can press buy and fill this out as I need to, right? Again, if you guys don't like this confirmation stuff, you can of course up here, press one-click trading and turn it on, right? You can, accept and confirm everything. And now, do you want to activate it? Sure, you can activate it. And if this is activated, if you press this, it'll of course take the trade instantly. So if I press buy now, boom, you can see it instantly enters a trade at that 4.49 lots that I specified here. And what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to press down here. Actually, let me move myself. There we go. In the bottom, you can see the position is actually shown here. You can simply press the X and close it. Okay, there we are. And again, that was all executed instantly due to the fact that we have one-click trading on. So let's turn that off and talk about everything else that you can do from an order perspective on this. So if you want to be a buyer seller, you can use these things up here, or you can right click on the chart and click buy or sell, or even set an alert. If you're the alert kind of person, there's the alert place. Easy as that. Now, let's say I want to be a buyer on AUD-CAD. Let's say, I've analyzed it, I want to see it go long, or let's say I've done my analysis in TradingView, because you can do your analysis wherever you want. You've decided that you want to go long, and you want to go long now, and you want to protect like this low right here at this 0.88839 level. Okay, so if I press buy now, I can set a protection order instantly for a stop loss if I want. And I said I want to put my stop around that 0.88830 level, so 0.8830. Now you can see what's cool about this is that when I do that, given the lots that I've specified, and given the fact that I've specified it to be a market order at the moment, you can see it actually shows me the amount of pips I'm risking, the projected loss that I'm going to take if I lose, because it's a stop loss, and the percent of my balance that I'm losing if it loses. So it's all in one spot that it shows you all this, which is really, really cool. Now, let's say you want to actually calculate how many lots you're going to be taking on a given trade, right? We can also see by right-clicking instrument info. You can go in here and you can see the instruments info. So in this case, the contract size of AUD-CAD is 100K. And you should know this because for some instruments, it's different, like 100 for WTI or other things. But in this case, it's 100K. So let's say AUD-CAD is something you want to enter. You can go ahead and find a position size calculator online. It's very, very simple. Let's assume you have a $2 million account, which we do in this scenario here. Let's just say you want to risk $1,000 on a trade. The stop loss in pips in this case, based on what we saw here when we actually wanted to take this trade. So let's say we're looking for a buy, right? We can set up the protection order. Our stop loss should be at around 0.88830, 0.88830. You can see the pips right here is about 73 pips. You can also very simply do this analysis in TradingView if you wanted to and check the pip amount. So if you were, for instance, trading AUD-CAD on the hourly in TradingView or wherever you use to analyze, you can simply look at this and you can see it lines up. And in this scenario here, at the order of where it is right now for 0.88830, it's about 20 pips, right? And similarly, if we look here, 0.88830, if you look right here, it's 20 pips. So you can see that lines up everywhere and you can find that number anywhere you want, right? And it actually takes a second once you get really used to it. So nonetheless, it's 20 pips. You can go over here, stop loss of 20 pips. And then you can click on this to make it units, and you can see it's 100,000 units, which is what we saw in that instrument info, and press calculate. So you should enter with about 6.7 lots. So now if I simply go here and type in 6.72, you can see the projected loss, if it hits my stop loss right here, is about $1,000, about 0.05% of my balance. So it's very, very cool in the fact that it just sets all that up for you. And you can also do that with a take profit. You can even change it not by being a price, but by a projected profit. So you could say, I want to make, $2,000 on my account. And then you can press send order. So now when it sends it, this is what it looks like. If you click on the order itself, boom, just like that, what you'll see, so sometimes it might not load, which you can see is actually happening right here in front of you right now. Sometimes you can just refresh it by clicking on something else and then heading back over to the AUD-CAD in this case. So again, this is not perfect. And what's cool is if there's issues of any sort, you should join the Mentfunding Discord. You should show the issue or make a support ticket and let us know, because that means it goes to the developers of whoever created DXTRADE and they can fix it and make it a lot better. But nonetheless, you're in trade now. So now with it refreshed, if I click on this, you can see it actually shows, if I click it, the stop loss and the take profit, right? Very simple. And now if you really wanted to, if you're crazy, You can move your stop loss and make it larger. Of course, that means you're gonna take a larger loss, but you can do that right there, and you can see it even shows you the new projected loss is about 2.5K, 2,500. So it makes everything really easy. And similarly, you can click it, and you can also adjust it for the TP side, just like that. And you can press modify, and again, it can show you your projected loss, your projected profit. It's very, very simple. Modify. I'm gonna move myself for a second. Additionally, in the bottom right here, you can also double click it and adjust everything as you want if you just want to type it in and you don't want to use it on the chart. As well as this, from the things that I understand, if you have one click trading off, which we do right now, and you press the X to close down here, you can also close partials, right? So if you want to close 50%, you would simply close 3.5 lots. 3.5 out of 6.7, that's about half, or like, you know, 3.35. There you go, something like that, right? It's around that number. And you can press close, and you've closed 50% of your position, right? You guys should see that it's actually very seamless. It's actually quite simple to use once you kind of get what's going on. Now let's talk about all the cool, crazy stuff that you can do. So we're gonna close this trade, close it out, and you guys will figure this out for yourself as you're using it. But if you add another If you add another workspace, under tools, you can add any of these tools you want. You can add a watch list, and you can stack them, you can unstack them, you can do whatever you want. You can add alerts, you can add a trading journal, for instance. You can see it shows all the trades that you've taken, and you can then go ahead and tag them or add notes about your trades if you really want to. Similarly, you can add a trading dashboard. There we go. It can show you your actual, you know, if you want to see that, you got it right there. You can add other tools as you see fit. You can go into my account and add other things like orders. So it doesn't actually show anything because we have no orders, but order history. So there you go, you have an order history. If you don't want orders, you can just delete them. You can add trade history, right? You can even stack them. So you can take the little thing here and you can drag it on top, and now you have a tab within there. So now that we got all that down, you pretty much know exactly how to use DXTRADE. This is basically it. It's a very simple platform, and it's really cool if you take a little bit of time just to kind of understand what's going on. And now what's cool is you can fully customize this to your personal preference in any way you see fit. Let's do some crazy shit now and talk about how you can do that. So if I make a random workspace, let's say you're the craziest guy in the world, okay? We can add, ready for this? We can add 2 watch lists. We can add 2 charts. We can add 1 position thing at the bottom, and look, it's all over the place. So let's now customize it, okay? I can take my positions and just drag them to the bottom because I just want these to be at the bottom. So I'll simply drag them down just like that, and all of a sudden they're at the bottom, and I'll make them smaller because I don't really need to see that much, okay? Now we have 2 watch lists. We don't really want 2 watch lists. We want more for our chart. So let's take a watch list and let's stack it on the other watch list. And all of a sudden, we have a watch list here and a watch list here. Why would we have 2 watch lists? Well, because maybe that's the kind of trader you are. We also don't like having the huge thing here. We want to put the charts to the right. So let's put the chart to the right and put the other one to the right as well. Look at all this crazy stuff. I'm like building a Lego, right? So, and we can make this smaller because I really don't care about all the other data. And let's make this like in the midway point. And there we go. We have 2 charts. Now what's cool is, depending on the person you are, let's say you're someone that analyzes on multiple time frames. You can add as many charts as you want. I just have 2 here, but you can add even more. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a 1-hour chart, and we'll use on this one, a 1-minute chart is fine. So now we have a 1-hour chart here and a 1-minute chart here. Maybe you analyze on the 1 hour, enter on the 1 minute, all good. So what's cool now is, again, you can see we shrunk it. So now I have to click this to decide on a watch list. Notice when I click on stuff, nothing happens. I hope you guys remember why that is. We haven't linked it yet, right? So we'll of course make this a little bit bigger so we can see the linking option, wherever that is, wherever that's gone. There it is. So we'll click the little linker and we'll make it red. And we'll also make this one red, okay? And we'll also make this one red. So now what's cool is that if I click any of these things that I want to trade, right, I only have to set this up once, and then I can come up here and I can save this layout if I want to. My favorite layout that made me profitable, right? You can save it if you want, and then you can load it at any point on any device, which is really cool. So if I click on anything now, GBP NZD, boom! The ones that are linked to GBP NZD are the ones that get updated, and now you have, in this scenario, 2 charts, one on the hourly and one on the 1 minute, so that you can now you know, watch him or enter or whatever it might be, because maybe your stop is usually larger. Maybe you see like a buying opportunity and then you need to enter with your stop loss here. So you basically put a buy and set it up like this. And then you go ahead and measure out, you know, your pips, your stop loss, everything that you want to do. And you can follow the step-by-step that I showed you guys in the position size calculator just earlier, right? And again, like I said, you can add a few more charts if you want. You can add another time frame and another time frame, and then you can put them all together so it's very clean, and you can have a 5-minute as well, just like that. And remember, when you add something new, link it. So this 1 minute has to be linked, right? So now, very cool. You have an hour, you have a 5-minute, and you have a 1 minute, right? You can have as many as you want. Now, the reason that I added another watch list is I'm going to show you now. Let's say you're someone that's crazy and likes to use correlations, right? Maybe on one chart, you want to see AUD-CAD, but on another, you want to see AUD-CHF. So first things first is we're going to let AUD-CAD load here. And again, it populates everywhere because we linked them all to red. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to having 2 charts, because 3 is a lot of charts, right? I don't trade with that many charts. So I'm going to delete one of the charts. Very simple. Drag this over, you know, have it looking pretty good. And again, you can go in here and change all your settings and do all that stuff. And you can do it once and then save everything, right? I'm also going to come down to the other watch list I made. And this one, what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend this a little bit so I can see the thing, is I'm going to now, there we go. I'm going to now link this one to being orange, okay? I'm going to link this one, remember, because we need to link them to being orange too. So now, and I'm going to make it a 1 hour as well. So now let's say you're someone that likes to see correlation or to watch multiple markets at once, okay? On one watch list, you might look at, let's say, GBP NZD. There it is on a 1 hour chart. And notice how it's only updating this one. And then on the other chart, you can watch GBP USD. And notice how this one updates this one and nothing else changes. And let's say for some reason you're like, oh my God, you know, GBP USD is so bullish and this one hasn't caught up, so I want to take a long on it. And again, you can do the calculation for yourself. So if you want your stop loss to be at 2.06626, or like basically 2.066, I press buy, protection, right? 2.066, right? So how many pips is that? You can see in this case, 2.066, you can see in this case it only is 0.9 pips. Okay, so on GBP NZD, if I'm entering GBP NZD, which is the case here, GBP NZD, and I'm doing it on how much? 0.9 pips. Did I do that right? 2.066. Yeah, I did. Okay. 0.9 pips. So we'll go ahead and enter that into here and press calculate. You can see it's about 179 lots. Now, I don't believe that you'll be able to enter that many lots given, oh, sorry, it's because it was on a limit. So we do a market order, and if I'm on market order, there we go. It's 108 pips. So look at that. Even me, I'm a dumbass, and I can still figure out how to trade using this platform, which is really cool. So 2.066 is 108 pips. So we'll enter 108 pips, we'll press calculate, and that's 1.5 lots. That makes a lot more sense. So 1.5 lots. And you can see when I do that, the projected loss at the moment is around $1,000. Now, if I made it 3, it's gonna be $2,000, right? It's really simple, really intuitive, to put it simply. And now I can simply press send order. And there we go, our order's set, right? Simple as that. So again, I can now manage this as I need to, or maybe, based on the person you are, you like to manage your trades independently. So you can go here and you can manage your position here instead, right? If you really wanted to, or see them all if you wanted to see them all in a workspace. But very simply, I have it open. Let me move myself again. I have it open down here in the bottom, and I can watch it as I need to. I can change the settings on it if I need to, and of course, I can alter the stop loss if I want to. Let's say, you know, it ends up going to profit. I can just move it under this low now or into break even. And it's very simple, and I just click modify, and just like that, it's done. So it's a really cool platform for that. Sorry, I was in the way. All I did is I pressed here, I moved this from here, I moved it from here to under this low, or to break even based on what you want. And you simply press modify. So hopefully this is showing you firsthand, you know, that this is actually a very simple thing to use. Oh, also very simply, make sure this number up here lines up with your actual Ment Funding account number. That way, you know, there's no screw up and you're actually trading on that account. And you can then track your actual progress in here if you want to, but of course you should just, you know, you should know these numbers before the day starts, because there's sometimes a little bit of lag between updating from the platform to the actual dashboard. So just make sure you're aware of that and keep your risk consistent. And And honestly, I personally, from what I've seen so far, have not seen any problems at all with the platform for myself. I know other people might see problems because it's a little bit slower on loading some stuff up. And on top of that, they might not be aware fully of all the features of linking things, of moving things around. But once you get them down and you kind of let the platform do its thing, as well as over time, you're going to have the developers actually make it better. I think a lot of you will actually start to like this platform too. And I think it's a really cool platform. And again, you guys can play around with it. Most of the stuff you need is right up here. You can add them to workspaces as you see fit. You can have just one big chart if that's really what you want, with the position thing, boom, just under it. And again, make it small. Some of you like to trade directly in the chart, and you can do that now, right? Just like that. And again, you can edit this to be the level to which you are interested in, or that you want. There we go. And and then you just set it up. Buy, alert, sell, or click this. Make sure that you have one-click trading off if you don't want it to always send everything instantly. Otherwise, if you like to send things instantly because you're like a lower time frame trader and you're like 10 lots, you're ready, boom, right? And you can simply just press, right? And boom, you're in the trade. And then you can add the stop loss and the take profit as you see fit. Maybe you want to put a stop like at 1.092, and you know that now you're losing $3,000 or 2.7K if it comes down there, which is 0.14% of your balance. So it's all written out. It all shows you it right here. Or you can simply say, I'm only willing to lose like, $2,000. And if I press that, then it'll put my stop loss where, if I click this now, oh, we have to do the reload, right? So we'll go like to something random. We'll give it a second here. And we'll go back to Euro USD. So you can see there are still issues. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, there's no issues. You guys are fine. There are still issues, and the issues will be fixed. Because again, I don't own the software, but I know the developers are going to be working on making sure their software is really good, especially if there's bugs or issues. And now if I click on this, there it is, the stop loss, right? So you can see that stop loss would put me at that 2.7K loss because that's what I specified. Or I can go back in here and say, okay, I don't want to do it based on the loss. I actually want to protect this low right here at 1.0868, 1.0868. And, that's an $8,000 loss, which would be 0.4% of the balance. And if I'm happy with that, I can modify it. And if I click on it now, you can see the stop loss is there. So very simple, very intuitive. And then, as the trade starts going, I can move my stop loss if I want to and modify it accordingly and see what that means for my projected loss or my projected profit. I can also go ahead down here and press close, and when I press close, it closes instantly because it's on one-click trading. Or if I was in a long, so I'm going to enter another one, and I had one-click trading off, activate regular trading, right? And I press at the bottom right here, the little X. If I press the X, now I can close half a position or more or less or whatever you actually want. And that's simply how, one, you get yourself set up with Mentfunding, and two, how you actually use this platform, which I believe personally is a really cool platform, and I like where the industry's heading in. So yeah, guys, that's how you use it. All right, good luck.